Hi there, everybody. I'm going to read a short excerpt from this book, Proof of Vedic Culture's Global Existence by Stephen Knapp. Now, I don't own this book, but my friend owns this book, and he sent me some pictures. Not very good quality, I have to say, but I'm going to be able to put them up on the screen here, and I'm going to read out what it says. Get ready. We going for a ride. Yeah. So here we go. This is not going to be easy. The Vedic ion machine. One more very interesting account of the advanced nature of Vedic science in action was reported in Ancient Skies, a bi-monthly magazine published by the Ancient Astronaut Society in Highland Park, Illinois. An article by Balchandra Patwardhan reproduced the annual research journal 1997 reproduced in the annual of the Institute for Rewriting Indian and World History describes the Vedic ion engine. It turns out that there are verses in the 10th chapter of the Rig Veda that refer to the art of flight and the means by which it can be capable. The great Risha Bharadwaja wrote a commentary called Yantra Vidya, Science of Machines, in which he describes the mechanism which provides the impulse needed for propulsion, involving the combination of 8 sub-assemblies and using the interaction principally of solar energy and mercury. The ancient text, known as the Vaimanika Shastra, contains detailed instructions on building a mercury vortex engine. It turned out that a Sanskrit scholar, Shivkar Bapuji Talpade, used his Sanskrit knowledge and creativity to construct such an aircraft according to the Rig Veda description. In fact, he demonstrated the capability of the aircraft on a beach in Bombay in 1895. The demonstration was attended by such people as Maharaja Sayajirao Gakwad of Baroda, no less, and was reported in the leading Marathi daily newspaper called the Kesari. Let us remember that this was 8 years before the Wrong brothers achieved their first flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Mr. Shivkar Bapuji Talpade used his flying machine, the Vedic ion engine, to reach an altitude of 1,500 feet. The basis of the Vedic ion engine is to use a stream of high-velocity electrified particles instead of hot gases to propel the aircraft. Interestingly, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, known as NASA, if you've never heard of them before, was planning to send a space probe to meet with Halley's Comet in 1980, which was to be powered by such an ion engine. As Balchandra Patwardhan's article explains, the theory of the ion engine has been credited to Robert Goddard, long recognized as the father of liquid-fueled rocketry. It is claimed that in 1906, long before the Goddard... can't see that word. Hold on a second. Had to zoom in there. Long before Goddard launched his first modern rocket, his imagination had conceived the idea of an ion rocket. However, this is still after Talpade had already demonstrated what he could do by using Vedic information to build a flying machine without additional research and development to perfect it. Nonetheless, As the article continues, the engine now being developed for future use by NASA by some strange coincidence also uses Mercury bombardment units powered by solar cells, much like the Vedic description. Interestingly, the impulse is generated in 7 stages. The mercury propellant is first vaporized, fed into the thruster discharge chamber, ionized, converted into a plasma by a combination of electrons, broken down electrically and then accelerated through small openings in a screen to pass out of the engine at velocities between 20,000 and 50,000 meters per second. So if you don't know what that is, that's between 12 miles per hour and 30 miles per hour per second. The description is much the same as that for Talpade's machine. The big difference is that NASA's machine was yet to produce more than 1 pound of thrust, while Talpade's machine lifted the aircraft to 1,500 feet in the air. It seems that NASA could have used some pointers directly from the ancient Vedic information to more quickly perfect their machine. The point is that regardless of how much progress any civilization has made in the area of flight, the reality is that such scientific thought originated in the Vedic civilization much earlier than in the West. Furthermore, Vedic society has already produced results using principles that we are now only rediscovering. Although early India has many scientific advancements, there were several major reasons why they began to fade. One, of course, was the great Mahabharata war at Kurukshetra. This started the many factions and disruptions in the global Vedic empire that kept and funded many educational institutions from which they spread their knowledge and continued their developments. Later, the many foreign invasions also interrupted their progress. From this came the urge for secrecy that kept new advancements in knowledge from spreading. Furthermore, the invasions put so much pressure on the people in general, as well as the local rulers, that they had other things in which they were concerned. And thus, many people became introverted towards their own concerns and apathetic to the scientific advancements that once made India so prominent in the world. Therefore, the scientific research that has been developed in ancient India was reduced in time to be considered as merely antiques. Nonetheless, it has proved to be a great contribution to the world and an essential part of the development we have continued to make in this day and age. Even the spiritual sciences and technologies we are learning today were clearly understood in Vedic times. As we can recognize in what some people may call the New Age teachings or new insights in life after death through the out-of-body and near-death experience people have been having, much of this describes information and experience that were already known and explained thousands of years ago in the Vedic teachings. Even the techniques for relaxing, expanding our consciousness, visualization and meditation, turning into higher energies and higher benevolent beings, the present fascination with angels, or preparing for death, the final transition, it's all old science. It is nothing new, and when you look back into the ancient teachings found in the Vedic literature, this is where the roots of all this can be found. We are only relearning what was previously known thousands of years ago. Okay, I'm going to read this short paragraph again here. It turned out that a Sanskrit scholar, Shivkar Bapuji Talpade, used his Sanskrit knowledge and creativity to construct such an aircraft according to the Rig Veda description. In fact, he demonstrated the capabilities of the aircraft on a beach in Bombay India, 1895. The demonstration was attended by such people as the Maharaja Sayajirao Gakwad of Baroda. Whoa, I told you that before. And it was reported in a leading Marathi daily newspaper called the Kesari. And then it says that, let us remember that this was 8 years before the Wrong brothers achieved their first flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Mr. Shivka Prapuji Talpade used his flying machine, the Vedic ion engine, to reach an altitude of 1,500 feet. Now, that ain't it, but I just pulled that up for you to take a look at that. So, what happened to it? I have a thesis of my own on what happened to it. Yeah, that ain't it, and that ain't Bombay. But what happened to it? I'd say, some captain, like Corporal Quibbins, aye, Captain Carruthers, bring that contraption over here. You heard the captain, lads. Come on, get it up here. We're going to wrap this up and give it as a present to our Queen Victoria. Huh? Gather round, chaps. I want you all to swear a promise of secrecy. Hold on a moment, please. This is my flying machine. Don't worry, you will be rewarded for your discovery. This is what's going on. I don't want a fucking reward. I want to get in my flying machine and get the fuck out of here. How dare you use such foul language in front of my men? Warwick, seize him. Bring him over here. Throw him to the floor. I've got a better idea. Lock this chap up so he can't build another one of these ghastly monstrosities. Round up the rest of these savages. We don't want any stragglers around who might have seen what's been going on around here. Our queen will be very proud of my new invention. Your new invention? Yes, it might get us out of this fucking furnace. I mean, what happened to it? Am I right? You know how I know what happened on the beach that day? I fucking remote viewed it from here, okay? All the way back in time, 128 years ago. Make of it what you will, people. But this is Vedic culture, Vedic science, and even in 1895, they're coming up with flying machines, presenting them on the beach, and you know fuck well what happened to it, how it got crated up and fucking brought away. And I would say our Queen Victoria gave it as a gift to Pope Francis. Who knows? Anyway, make of it what you will. They've been lying to us. And NASA can't even reproduce the fucking thing. Let me know what you think. Talk to you all soon.